Hail-in frequencies open. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, UFS. This is Emma King and Rich Lombardia signing on for our first episode of Subspace Relay. Today we are going to start with a segment called Here, There, Everywhere. This is where we bring you news and information from around the fleet. Let's start with headquarters. Lately it seems if you blink your eye, headquarters has a new look but seems to improve with every iteration. So let's talk a little bit about this newest area, Emma.
I have to say, being the branch commander for medical, that clearly the new hospital is the best thing about the new refit here on the colony. It's very, very shiny. I strongly encourage everyone to get injured and visit. Ooh, wait, I'm not supposed to say that. I strongly encourage everyone to stay healthy and not visit.
I was going to say, that's not going to be a hard thing for me. I'm sure I'll be the #1 guest at the hospital. Might even have my own bio bed, or perhaps a space in the morgue reserved just for Rich Lombardia.
Probably swing that. The morgue hasn't been very busy lately, so we can probably name one for you for a little while.
Yeah, I hear it's dead there. You know, the hospital's not the only thing that's exciting there. Have you seen the new hangar? It's just buzzing with activity. There's constantly shuttles in and out. There was a fire there not too long ago, but fire suppression equipment, although a bit antiquated, does seem to work just fine.
It is a lovely piece of the base, and a nice place to meet new people as they come in to the colony there and head out. Some of them we're happier to see go than come, I think.
I could certainly name a few. And continuing on with some of the other changes to HQ, the Academy is looking fantastic. I was testing out some of the new equipment in the classroom and did not manage to get electrocuted. It was a first for me. The offices seem to be settling in quite nice, and the cadet dorms are just a lovely place to rest your head.
Do you want to go ahead and give us a little overview of some of the classes that'll be starting up soon?
Absolutely. So at the Academy, we've looked to improve the experience of our cadets as they come in. We're looking at overhauling just how they learn and how they can personalize the experience so that they can graduate at the peak of their abilities when we send them off to the fleet. We're going to focus not just on the classroom setting, but we want to really give them that as close to the real world experience as we can by putting them head to head with instructors that have been out there that have done these different things on the various branches and that can really instruct them and help them become more comfortable in their duties before they are in a life or death situation, although we will look to simulate that as close as possible.
We are nothing without our little simulations, right? Maybe we'll call it the Lombardia Maru now or something.
Oh, well, in that case, it probably won't be any simulated deaths. But, hey, then your medical cadets can actually carve up a cadaver.
Without any ethical issues. What a treat.
Indeed, indeed. Now, it's not just headquarters that seems to be so different. I hear that way out in the Necrit Expanse, there's a series of space stations that's providing a navigational relay that allows ships to traverse from one side of the expanse to the other. But of those 5 stations, one seems to stand out more than the other, a place called Karen's Beacon. Have you heard of it?
And I've been hearing some rumors of some pirate activity out there that has actually affected us here on the colony as well.
Yeah, there was an attack not too long ago. They made off with some interesting goods. And a number of ships out there, I hear, have been lost. There's even rumors of a somewhat famous pirate hunter on his way out there to try to stem the problems. I think he goes by the name of Sir Stanton Harper III.
Oh, I've heard of him. He's a very unique personality.
That is certainly one way to put it from the rumors. I have not met him myself and hope I never have to. I wish everybody out in Karen's Beacon good luck, and any of our ships that are traversing there safe travels.
Absolutely.
I think we should cut over to our fact of the day. Today's fact is 100% of humans who breathe normally will live until they die. And this fact of the day has been brought to you by The Borg and the Beautiful. New episodes coming this fall.
Can't wait for those new episodes of The Borg and the Beautiful.
So we have an amazing guest with us today. Emma, would you like to introduce him?
Yeah, today we have with us Lieutenant Commander Drewski Northman, Chief Science Officer aboard the USS Maxwell, and Branch Commander to the second best branch in UFS, that is the Sciences. Commander Northman,
Okay.
welcome to our show.
Oh, excuse me. Hi. Welcome. Hi. Thank you for having me today. First
It is
best.
a pleasure to have you. The second best. Medical is the first
Okay.
best.
All right. Okay.
Commander, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it's like being the branch commander of science and a little bit about what you hope to accomplish in this position?
Sure. Honestly, it kind of floored me when Admiral Masuelo approached me and asked me to be the new science branch commander. It was huge. Huge opportunity, huge responsibility. But I've really enjoyed looking into what makes the science branch tick, and I love I love the imagination and the creativity, and just being able to learn so much myself through the science branch. What I'm hoping to do is I have two goals. One, I am looking to make the science branch more interactive, more approachable, more fun. And I'm also looking to give people more opportunities to make the science branch on their ships or station really get the full potential out of it.
Those are definitely worthy goals. What advice would you give to somebody interested in the sciences to make them be more successful at being a science officer?
That's a really good question. So, honestly, I think science, over a lot of other opportunities and branches, can be pretty intimidating for a new person, because there's this stigma that you think, I've got to be really smart, or I've got to know a whole lot about Star Trek and a whole lot about this world that we live in, and you've just got to have this huge brain, and I got to sound like I know all this technobabble. But really, that's not the case. All you need, as far as a new science officer, is, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be rolling out with the new updated science manual, which will cover a lot of this in more detail. But a couple things. One, bring your imagination. Because, honestly, since the dawn of Star Trek, since all of this, we've been making it up as we go. We try to base things on the scientific method, but bring your imagination and bring the scientific method. We go a little bit into detail on what the scientific method is as far as thinking through a problem scientifically. That will be covered in the updated manual, but think things through logically. How do you solve this through experimentation, through observation, and use your imagination. It's a fun thing. I don't want people to be intimidated. And I think there's a couple of resources that really help people. First is Wikipedia. Whenever I am on a mission with the USS Maxwell, I've got the Wikipedia article open for whatever I'm talking about. And the second most important resource is Memory Alpha. I believe, hopefully, we can throw a couple links for Wikipedia and Memory Alpha up for the people listening. But those are the two most important resources that we have, because Wikipedia allows you to learn on the fly about the subject that you're talking about and be able to sound knowledgeable enough. And Memory Alpha discovers and discusses what has been seen before in Star Trek. I know we're talking a little bit out of character in that aspect, but it helps you with canon. It helps you with the Klingons never went to Yavin 4 to invade the rebel base. Okay, I'm not going to say that. There's a lot of things there that help with that. So those are the two biggest resources. Another third, I should say, is the UFS Wiki, and that shows what we have done as a group before. So, for example, a recent mission that we did spent a lot of time delving into the lore behind the species called the Ragians, and they were the original inhabitants of the Penastri system before we got here, and they died out several thousand years before. And I used the information on the UFS Wiki to see what has been done before. It linked back to the forums, to the different missions conducted, and I was able to glean a lot of information from the UFS Wiki to enhance and build on what's come before. And I think a good science officer will look into what has UFS already done in the 15-year history of our group, and what would be really good to touch on again. So there's some really good resources for people. Hopefully that will make things less intimidating. It's not as scary as it sounds, and it's a lot of fun to be a science officer.
Well, since we're sort of on this track, it occurred to me that I should ask, since you are Chief Science Officer aboard the Maxwell, and you also run some science training missions out of the Academy, or that you will, what role do you feel communication plays behind the scenes? Like, how much are you talking with players behind the actual posts?
Okay. A lot. I think behind the scenes communication is really important. A lot of times on a mission, our Admiral Gerhardsen will be behind the scenes in an instant message window with me, talking to me about the big picture stuff that she wants science to do. And then I will have 1 to 4 or 5, depending on how many people we have working with us. I will have different instant message windows. I'm communicating with everybody in my department, splitting out different roles for them. Usually people have their specializations of what they're good at, and I try to, as a chief science officer, try to give people the things that they're really good at so they can excel, they can build on that particular scientific area of expertise, and I try to get everybody to have at least a little bit of moment to shine, because everybody wants to participate. So sometimes it can be, I'll have a wall of instant message notifications going back and forth. It can be pretty crazy, but when everything is clicking and people are being creative and thinking through things and giving really good solutions, it's like magic. Hopefully that answers your question a little bit.
No, it really does, and I'm glad to hear that you have the same experience I do, where within a mission, somehow having those background conversations actually isn't impeding the role play. It's actually sort of boosting it up in many ways.
Correct. Well, a lot of times it's kind of like tabletop role playing. You're asking questions of the game master as you play. Like, hey, can I do this? What would happen if I did this? And the game master is communicating back with you out of character, and then you enter back into that IC space. So I think we're really good at compartmentalizing that and focusing back and forth, and it really makes a difference when people are communicating.
No, it really does, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk about this today, because I think particularly new players, before we sort of transition back into whatever it is that we're doing right now, particularly new players might feel nervous about, well, what am I going to do if I don't know what's going on? So I did want to do a little hint that in the background, all of your chiefs are chatting at you and with you.
Yes. We will be there to support you all along the way and to help you out. And don't be afraid to ask questions. I think the biggest thing I appreciate is somebody willing to ask questions. Behind the scenes, even in character, hey, sir, what do you think about this? Or what is this going on? And asking questions is never a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose we will sort of round off this section by asking you for advice for other people who are thinking about going into becoming chief science officers aboard their own ships. I know we've got several ships out there, some of which may be seeking a new chief science officer. What advice do you have for them?
That's a good question. My advice, this advice was given to me by Nora Gerhardson, our CO, when I took the job, is your job as a chief science officer is balance. You have to be able to balance making sure everybody in your department is able to contribute, to focus on the areas that they're good at, as well as not forgetting to have some fun yourself. But I think as a leader of your department, you should look to make sure that your people have the opportunities before you do. A lot of people think leadership roles are, hey, I'm in charge, I get this fancy title, I'm the chief so-and-so. No. That's not what it's all about. It's about helping other people, making sure they're able to do their thing. And I think that a chief science officer, chief anything, will be more successful if you put your department before you do. But don't forget to have some fun yourself. Sometimes I have to stop and think, okay, I'm going to take this little bit for me. So it's a balancing act.
Yeah. Before we transition into our little battle to prove which branch is better, it'll obviously be mine. I did want to ask you about a project that I will grudgingly admit I am a little jealous of, and that is Project Atlas. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So this evolved really early on in my tenure as the branch commander. Out of a desire, I talked to Admiral Mistwallow, and I had the idea to get a whole bunch of science people from all these other ships and stations and have them come together on the Maxwell and use our facilities, use our ship as kind of I had this idea for an extended training mission to kind of go into more detail of how better to help people learn how to do the science officer gig. So I had this whole idea where people would come on the ship for a 4-week period of time, and they would have this series of missions concentrating on bridge work, lab work, going on an away mission, what to do, how to handle surprises, but basically every area, take into detail every area of how to be a good science officer. And Kermie rightly reminded me that, hey, we don't want to poach people to our ship, so how about you do this with an NPC ship? So I said, okay, all right. So that plus my love of the Prometheus class ship. It's the most beautiful ship out there, in my opinion. I finally got down to building that out and building the story of the USS Atlas, which came along from the Alpha Quadrant to it's kind of an older ship now, and the Atlas's job is to help out around the Penastri system. It's set up as an explorer variant of the Prometheus class ship, which is usually more based on military use, but it's got all the labs and bells and whistles and top of the line medical facilities. And my goal with the Atlas project is this: I want to, not for just the science branch, but for any branch commander, any branch that wants to give their people an opportunity to get together outside of their normal ships or stations and enhance how they do branch role plays, the Atlas is for you. So recently we did a test run of the Atlas project, and I think it went really well. We did a joint mission with the Marines, and it started out, we were going to research an anomaly, and we got a distress call from the Marines, and it turned out really cool. We were able to help them out. Now the Marines owe Science 1, I'm just going to say that, because we were able to evacuate them, and it was a lot of fun. So look forward to more of those Atlas missions in the near future. We're closely working with the Academy as far as giving people opportunity through the Academy experience to work with the Project Atlas. I'm looking forward to it.
Wonderful. All right, Mr. Commodore, would you mind setting up this little tete-a-tete between Mr. Northman and myself?
I would be happy to. So the game that you guys are going to be challenged to is called Quark's List. Now, if you'll remember, Quark was a somewhat successful Ferengi that operated a bar, Quark's, outside of within Deep Space Nine. So, in order to continue his quest to acquire wealth, he has Quark's List, in which he sells a wide variety of previously owned goods. I'm going to list one of these goods, and each of you is going to have to attempt to guess how much it is worth in credits. Whichever of you is closest wins that point. We're going to do 5 rounds. Whoever has the most points wins. So the way we're going to do this is I want you guys to send me privately your guesses, and then when I have both, I will reveal who is closest. I'll reveal what they were, what the actual amount was, and who's closest. Any questions?
Bring it on.
Bring it.
All right.
Science
Round
is going
1.
down.
Okay. All right. You keep saying that.
Round 1. We have listed a wrist communicator circa 2285.
Wrist communicator.
I'm just going to write it down here on my pad and slide it over.
Yeah. There you go.
And there's mine.
All right. They're in. So the actual amount was 125 credits.
Oh.
Emma, you were closest at 150. Drew, you were a little bit far off with the 250 guess, so this round goes to Emma.
It's an
Ooh.
antique. Come on. It's rare. It's got to be worth more than 125.
Considering our theme of antiquated equipment, our round 2 brings us with a hypo spray circa 2266.
Ooh. Those things came with their own gangrene.
These are previously owned, by the way.
All right, I've got my guess here. I'm just going to show you.
All right, there we go. Made my guess.
All right, both are in. The actual amount was 175 credits. Emma, you had guessed 200. Drew, 110.
Of course.
Emma, that is 2 to Drew, 0. That's okay. It's not over yet. We still have 3 more rounds. Round 3. We have a Klingon hyperspanner.
Ooh, a Klingon hyperspanner. All right, I'm writing mine down right now.
There we go.
Off you go.
Does it even work? Does it stab you as you use it? How does that work? I wonder.
It's fueled by blood.
Clearly.
You have to actually bleed into it a little bit in order for it to function, I think.
Mm-hmm. It
All
senses
right.
pain.
So this is priced at 75 credits. Drew, you had 65, and Emma had 125. So this round goes to Drew. He's starting to make a comeback.
Catching up.
This was letting him have one. You know, we have to take pity on sciences being second best.
First best.
All right. We have a rather interesting item or set of items for round 4. This is listed as a slightly used but full set of Idian medical tools.
Ew.
Ooh. Now, do we
Is
go with
that,
cultural value or actual credit value?
Hope they're sanitary.
All right, I've got my bid in.
Okay. I think there it is.
All right, bids are in. This comes in for 230 credits.
Ah,
Drewski had 275, and you had 95.
Ooh.
I-
Catching up.
That's
We're tied now.
we are
it.
tied.
All right. Final round. We have a Hirogen Tetrion rifle.
You had to go and make a difficult one for the last round. Okay.
I know nothing about weapons. I'm in medical.
Well, you know the damage that they do.
Very true, but I find that I underestimate the price of injuring somebody. Well, I guess we'll go for broke. Okay, here's my guess.
I'm gonna take a guess. There you go.
So this retails at 471 credits. Drewski had a guess of 750. Emma, you said 250.
So who's closer?
I'm
Somebody
doing
do
my quote unquote mental math. 1 second.
Is this clone qualified to do math?
It's still
this one's maybe not the best model for that, but he can manage.
Hopefully.
Perhaps. Hold on, I'm doing the last one now. Calculations in my head, naturally, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
We would never suggest otherwise, Commodore.
Never.
All right, tallies are in, and it goes to Emma.
Well done, Doctor.
I bow to you. That was close, though.
It was very
It was.
close. It was very close. Well done.
I guess since it was so close, we could graciously suggest that perhaps sciences and medical are equally good.
I'll allow it.
Well,
I'm so glad.
I'll say for the benefit of my continued life, I owe it to both science and medical working in conjunction. Otherwise, I may not be here.
That
Touché.
is 100% true. Actually, that's true for most of us. We wouldn't be here if sciences and medical stopped working together.
See, there you go.
Indeed.
So let's go with our quote of the day. Today's quote is, "Remember, whoever is trying to bring you down is already below you." And this was said by Ziad K. Abdanor. He's a Lebanese-American activist. I think it's a very nice way of looking at it.
It is.
It's a good quote.
It's an excellent quote.
So we have another game, but this time we're going to see which of the hosts is better. And Drew, we need you to actually facilitate this game. Now this game is called 5 Seconds. You're going to choose one of us. You're going to give us a topic, and then you're going to give us 5 seconds to rattle off as much of a particular topic as we can think about in 5 seconds. Make sure you keep track, and then you'll go to the next one, and whoever has the most will win that round. We can do 2 or 3 rounds, whatever you want to do, and then we'll call it.
Okay. All right.
Are we listing words or actual, whole sentences?
Words. Yeah, just to keep it quick. All right. So, Dr. King, we're going to start you off we're going to test your medical knowledge. Yes. Oh, yes. Miss, I am the best branch in the fleet. So, you have 5 seconds to list as many medical tools as you can. On your mark, get set, go.
Scalpel, defibrillator, oxygen mask, oxygen, tubing, heart rate monitor.
Time.
I think that was 6.
That was 6. right.
Good job.
I panic. I'm not very good at tests.
No.
Oh, I know. The time.
Ooh.
I'm
All
awful
right.
at these.
So that was 6. Commodore Lombardia, noted Starfleet ship aficionado. You have 5 seconds to list off as many Starfleet ship classes as you can. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ouch.
On your mark, get set, go.
Constitution, Excelsior, Galaxy, Ambassador, Nebula, panicking.
Time. That was 5.
Ah,
So this round goes to Dr. King. So Emma has 1 to 0 for Rich. All right, this round, Emma, do you like food?
Yes.
You're going to get 5 seconds to list off as many cereal flavors or cereal brands, titles, whatever, as you can. Breakfast cereal.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Tribble Crunch, Captain Crunch, Captain Crunch Berries, Life.
Time. That's 5. Triple
Did Triple
Crunch.
Crunch really count? But it was that is canon. I'm sorry, it's in one of the shorts.
We'll allow it. We'll take it.
But you get
All right.
6 again?
5.
Oh, I got 5.
Oh, I was gonna say you're killing me here. No pun intended this time.
Yeah, be careful saying that too loud.
That can be arranged.
All right. Let's see. Rich, since you are head of the Academy, without looking at the UFS Wiki or Memory Alpha, off top of your head, list as many Star Trek species as you can. Ready?
Right. Yeah.
Go.
Human, Vulcan, Bajoran, Vidian, Romulan, Klingon, Nausicaan,
Time.
Ferengi. Oh, damn. Okay.
That was 7. This round goes to Rich.
Woo.
All right. Our hosts are tied in the final round. The final round will be the same topic for both. So I will give each of you 5 seconds to list off 5 or however many as you can planets in the Star Trek galaxy. And you can't reuse ones already reused. So we'll start with Rich this time. On your mark, get set, go.
Earth, Vulcan, Romulus, Nimbus 3.
Time.
Yeah. Damn it.
That's 4. All right. Are you ready, Dr. King?
I'm gonna try.
Okay. You got this. It's easy. Maybe.
Wait, you already said
Okay.
you already said Romulus and Vulcan, right?
I did.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Go.
Klingon, Bajor, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Earth. Wait, did he already say Earth?
He did already say Earth, and that's time.
Oh man, I should
So-
have gone through the solar system. I was
Right?
I was like, there's this couple planets right there, and Klingon's not a planet.
Oh yeah. Kronos is the Klingon
Kronos
world.
is the planet. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I think that leaves you with 3.
Yeah.
So, Rich ultimately takes the cake this year. Barely squeaks out a win. Congratulations, Commodore Lombardia. You win this week.
Yeah.
Well run, sir. Very well run.
That was
I
tough.
appreciate it. It was. That was a close one.
Indeed. And I suppose this is a good time to round out by saying that today's episode is brought to you by the Federation Colonies. Do you long to live your 24th century life at a 19th century pace? Sign up for the colonies now and be guaranteed 10 acres, and a shuttle pad. The Federation colonies. Cholera is extinct. Why not settle the final frontier? And also sponsored in part by Byron's Borg Analgesic. Those implants can cause irritation. Try an analgesic.
Hey guys.
Well,
Hey, hello.
hello, Mr. Williams.
Have you checked out the new phaser? It's got a safety feature. I've never seen
A new one?
Yeah, it's got a where you can flick it on safety, so it won't even fire. Here, see, look, it won't even fire.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
I'm not sure that was supposed to happen.
I think you killed Rich.
I think you just killed Rich.
Bye.